Guys, I was looking forward to the Bitcoin 2022 conference in Miami and counted on the fact that we would be given a reason to turn the market around. There was fantastic news, and in parallel with it, there was incomprehensible news. I'd even say stupid actions, which spoiled the whole impression in many respects. Today I've prepared an excerpt of statements from that conference, from the long-term perspective of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Let me say it once, it's perfect. So I'll talk about all of them one by one, and I'll ask you to support me with your likes. Don't get distracted. It all started with presenting a new version of the statue, an upgraded copy of the legendary bull from Wall Street. Generally, they often do something like this during conferences. I remember the Consensus 2018 conference in New York in 2018, where there were fake rallies of supposedly bank employees who lost their jobs due to customers switching to cryptocurrencies. You should also pay attention to one interesting nuance. Bitcoin bull copy turned out to be incomplete. One crucial detail was missing for some reason. Now, let's talk about the speakers. President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, couldn't come because of the aggravation of the criminogenic situation in the country. But one of the founders of PayPal, billionaire Peter Thiel, was there. Let me remind you that PayPal already offers services with cryptocurrencies, and you would expect some amazing announcement from him, but there was none. Moreover, Thiel did a stand-up show and told his list of Bitcoin's enemies. Firstly, he put Warren Buffett, the head of investment giant Berkshire Hathaway. Second place went to Jamie Dimon, who heads JP Morgan. And the honorable third place went to Larry Fink, CEO of the top 1 company by assets under management at BlackRock. All in all, Peter Thiel played the role of Captain Obvious, who recalled old remarks of these people when they criticized Bitcoin and accused central banks of being slow to promote digital currencies. I think such a speech was better off going nowhere. Just what good is it other than to amuse the crowd? If I'm wrong, you can prove it in the comments. And I'll remind Thiel that despite criticism of Bitcoin, JP Morgan and BlackRock are already running various cryptocurrency operations, and Berkshire Hathaway recently bought a stake in a bank that also promotes crypto services. Now I'm done telling you about the bad stuff, so let's talk about something good. And let's start with a joint panel by CATHIE Wood and Michael Saylor. The head of ARK Invest, CATHIE Wood, and MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor took the stage together and talked about the long-term outlook for Bitcoin. CATHIE reiterated her long-term forecast for Bitcoin. Her background, by the way, holds stocks of cryptocurrency-related companies and is betting heavily on them. She also raised her forecast from $50,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin in 2030. As she sees it, this growth is bound to happen, because Bitcoin is the first new financial asset in the last 100 years. Plus, it's unlike anything else. The current level of Bitcoin penetration in institutional capitals is minimal. If at least 2% of their money goes into the first cryptocurrency by 2030, the price could reach $1 million. For his part, Michael Saylor said that when his company started buying Bitcoin, many expected him to be removed as CEO, but they believed and bought more cryptocurrency. And then the board realized what their strategy was. After all, they raise dollars very cheaply and invest them in the asset that gives the highest yield in today's markets. And by the way, it's confirmed by the numbers. Let me remind you that MicroStrategy recently took a loan from a bank, secured by Bitcoins, and bought even more cryptocurrency with these funds. They now have 129,218 Bitcoins, and the average purchase price is $30,700. At the current price, they are making an incredible profit. Saylor also said that he's looking forward to the widespread acceptance of payments through the Lightning Network. It's the second layer of the Bitcoin blockchain where instant free payments can be made for those not knowing. As he sees it, companies will choose partners based on whether they will use the Lightning Network in the future, and whoever stays in the past won't work with them. By the way, Bitcoin's Lightning Network had 2 incredible pieces of news during the conference. The first is that Shopify will integrate Lightning Network payments into their app, and the second is that the Lightning Network developers received $70 million from investors for a project that will add their stablecoin to the Bitcoin blockchain. So as you can see, that's some excellent news. But that's not it. I saved the most interesting stuff for the final part of the video. I want to address everyone who is new to this channel. Our team always makes quality videos, so subscribe to keep up to date. Users of the Cash App payment app, owned by Jack Dorsey's block, have a new feature: automatic Bitcoin investing. Just what you need for those who use an investing strategy where you regularly buy Bitcoin for a mixed amount. But that's not the only news from Jack Dorsey. His company is also developing a new generation of ASIC miners based on new chips from Intel, and they will find an exact use for them. I wonder how these companies will divide their Bitcoin earnings among themselves. After all, a joint project of Tesla, Block, and Blockstream to build a mining farm in Texas has been announced. Block will put up their miners, Blockstream will take care of the software part of the issue, while Tesla will provide it all with solar panels and generators. So the suspicion that Elon Musk was hitting on the miners in 2021 to clear a place for himself in the industry has turned out to be entirely correct. After all of three of them hold the first cryptocurrency and can add it to their investment assets. And the latest news is that 2 more countries have adopted Bitcoin as a means of payment. We're talking about Honduras and Portugal. However, we have to make a caveat that they haven't decided to follow in El Salvador's footsteps and allow Bitcoin payments throughout the country, but they've done so only in special economic zones. We're talking about the island of Rotan in Honduras and the autonomous region of Madeira in Portugal. There are also rumors that the Mexican authorities consider using Bitcoin, at least in areas where people don't have regular access to banking services. And there are at least 67 million such people in Mexico. So the process of acceptance of Bitcoin by the states continues, and the time when it will be included in the reserves of central banks will surely come. So that's it with the news from the Bitcoin 2022 conference. And those are excellent news for the long term. Follow Michael Saylor's advice: never sell Bitcoin. I would appreciate your support. Subscribe and ring the bell, please. Thanks for watching. Your Coin Post.